Hey there, grammar splainies. You asked me when you can reduce a short vowel to a schwa, when you can say m and tin instead of man or ten. Let's talk about it. Let's start with single-syllable words. You cannot reduce these vowels. You've got to pronounce them fully. Man, men, tin, on, bun. And those vowels can be hard to distinguish, and that's why I have a couple of long pronunciation practice videos on those vowels. So let's look at some multisyllabic words. Now, in all these words, you'll notice the final syllable is not stressed, and that's the syllable we're going to look at. Talisman, specimen, eaten, summon, lemon, common. Now, if the vowel in that final syllable is an I, you need to be a little more careful, a little more deliberate. Vermin, cabin, livid. Now, I'm not prolonging that vowel the way I would in, say, bin, sin, tin. I'm shortening the consonant, but you still hear an I sound. Resin, pumpkin, marlin, authentic, neurotic. Next rule, words ending in on, particularly words that are scientific or mathematical that come to us from Greek. Photon, meson, argon, polygon, moron. Those are different from button, common, bacon. Other on words to watch out for are words that were invented recently to name a specific new product, like rayon, nylon. Another rule, compound words. When we butt two words together in English to make one word, both of those words have to be pronounced completely, so make sure you properly pronounce that second syllable in words like these. Shotgun, shorthand, roughneck, fish pond, weekend. And contrast weekend with weakened, weaken, weakened, weekend. And here's a reminder that if the accent falls on that second syllable, you cannot reduce it. Let's look at some pairs. Sweetened, pretend, button, baton, wanton, undone. Next category, words that come to English from other languages. As you know, English imports a lot of words from other languages, and oftentimes these are names for things that we just don't have around in the English-speaking world. And in those cases, we will oftentimes keep the original pronunciation as much as possible. So in these words, you actually do pronounce that second syllable, even though it's not accented. Afghan, kaftan, robot, shogun, piton, tampon. And you'll notice these are also fairly recent imports. And when I say recent, I mean like from 1850 onward. These are not words that have come up through Old French or Middle English. Another category of words, those that end in man or men. Milkman, it's always pronounced fully. With some other words, the reduction is optional. You can say repairman or repairman. Serviceman or serviceman. Policeman or policeman. And there are some man words where that last syllable is always reduced. Draftsman, craftsman, helmsman, chairman, rifleman. Those are just some examples. There are plenty more words ending with man or men, and there's no rule on when to use man, when to optionally reduce it to man, and when you have to reduce it to man. So again, every time you learn a new word, make sure you learn the spelling and the pronunciation. Now, my students often ask me for rules like this, and when I go around trying to gather words and explaining the rules, I always come across some exception that I can't explain. This time when I was putting this lesson together, I stumbled across the word manifest. 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 That is the only correct pronunciation. You cannot reduce the eh sound in that final syllable, even though it is the final syllable and it's not accented. Is there a rule for this? I honestly can't think of one. I don't know why this word has to be pronounced that way. Manifest. I know it's complicated, and that's why I always say it's best to learn as much as you possibly can about a word every time you learn it, and practice it, practice pronouncing it, get the spelling down when you learn that word, and try to start noticing larger patterns in words as you learn them. Keep giving me your questions in the comments, and I will get back to you.